What's going on, everyone? Suave here, bringing you an informative video. Today I want to talk about the top or the strongest walker commanders in the game at the moment. The reason why I say at the moment is the developers are constantly releasing new commanders with each update, and very recently, in the last update, they released this commander. His name's Pictor, however you want to pronounce that. And just looking at his skills, it seems like this guy has a lot of potential, but we'll get more into that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about the top three strongest commanders in in the Walker tier. The top three Walker commanders in Ark of War right now. Um, these three include Medusa, Chief, and Galileo. So let's just jump right into it. So let's start off with Medusa. Medusa is my primary commander. I have her at 17,000 leadership. Her skills, I have them at level 35, 28, and level 43. They're not the highest. I definitely would like them to be higher, but the higher level that you increase them to, the more expensive they get, and it's getting a little too expensive for my priorities right now. So well, I'll just have to deal with this for now. But her skills are great, and so let's start off with her first one, Full Metal Jacket. So Full Metal Jacket has a 20% skill trigger rate, and when this triggers, this attack will hit, and damage will increase by 35%. So essentially, when this skill triggers, the attack of that tile will hit, it cannot be dodged, and the damage of that attack is amplified by 1% per level. That is the that is the scaling ratio of this ability. 1% is typical for most abilities. It's not there are higher scaling abilities out there, but 1% per level, I'll take it. It's not bad. It's a guaranteed hit. I have it at level 35 right now. So that's not that. That's great. Guaranteed hit, damage amplification, great. Sonar. Sonar is a great ability. So Sonar has a 40% chance skill trigger rate, and when this procs, the next action, our when this triggers, our troops will hit, and crit chance is increased by 28%. Now, if you read the troops part, that is plural. That means that when when a tile triggers this ability, the the conse- the consecutive hits by the following tiles will hit. So essentially, this is a guarantee hit for all my tiles. So once this skill triggers once on any tile, one entire turn of my one entire turn of all my tiles, the hits will hit, or the hits will guarantee to land. And I'll show you um, all of these commanders in Ace of Galaxy just to just to showcase why these commanders are strong. And then you have the Awakening, which you unlock at S rank, and this is a 60% trigger rate. Attacks one row of enemies. Damage is 1.5% per level of normal attack. So this is great. So that's Medusa for you. Just a quick overview, just the summary. Guaranteed hit, guaranteed hit, Awakening. So Medusa is the only commander in the game that has two guaranteed hits. Any other commander that you see that has a guaranteed hit will only have one guaranteed hit in their skill set. So that's great. That makes Medusa very powerful. Um, so there's two guaranteed hits, and they're there, and they can proc, and they do proc. So next, let's move on to Chief. So Chief's first ability is Super Laser. Now Super Laser has a 20% skill trigger rate, and when this triggers, until the next action of the initiator, crit increases by 3% per level. Yeah, that's insane. That scaling ratio is very strong. 3% per level. That's very strong. And now if this skill triggers on top of his secondary ability, Rampage, you're looking at a lot of damage. So with that, let's jump into his second ability, which is a guaranteed hit. Surprise, surprise. This attack cannot miss and damage will increase. So it's essentially Medusa's Full Metal Jacket, but higher trigger rate. Or sorry, not higher trigger rate. I'm pretty sure it's a 40% skill trigger rate. But it's the scaling ratio that I'm not sure of. I'm confident it's 1%, but if it's higher than that, that's amazing as well. And then his Awakening, 60% trigger rate. It deals 1.5% per level damage. Okay, so that's Chief for you. A brief, just quick overview. Here, a crit increase. You get a crit increase 3% per level, 20% proc rate, trigger rate. So that's that that amplification of crit is amazing. And then you have Rampage. You have the the guaranteed hit. Now let's move on to Galileo. Galileo Galileo has Plunder and Instinct. Now Plunder has a 40% skill trigger rate, and he recovers HP based on how much damage he does. Now, this ability will only be useful if you can guarantee that the hit will land. Unfortunately, Galileo does not have guaranteed hits. However, his second ability does compensate for that in a way, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. But back to his first ability, the scaling ratio is 1.5% per level. So again, I'll showcase all of these abilities in just a moment in Ace of Galaxy. And so his second ability is Instinct. Now, this has a 60% skill trigger rate. How do I know this? Well, I used to main Galileo, and he was great. I had a great time with Galileo, but once I learned about Medusa's two guaranteed hits in her kit, I had to make the transition. But Galileo is a great commander. Um, you know, with with this skill, 60% trigger rate, um, he increases all of his troops' attack and accuracy. So that's amazing. And then you have his Awakening Walker. Uh, so these three commanders, Galileo, Chief, and Medusa, these three commanders are very powerful Walker commanders. With high enough leadership, high enough skill levels, and decent, great gear, you you will be very powerful. So let's go ahead and jump into some Ace of Galaxy and show you guys. Let's see, there's a Galileo here. There's a Medusa here. Let's see what's here. Okay, here's the Galileo. I see no Chief. Well, there's this Chief here, but I defeated him earlier. Let's try refreshing. Hopefully, let's get some. Okay, cool. Chief here. Another Chief here. This guy seems powerful. Let's see if we can find a Galileo. Please give me a Galileo. Okay, there is no Galileo. Well, that sucks. Okay, let's just jump into the. Let me just show you what Chief can do and what Medusa can do. I'll I'll commentate as the battle goes on, just to let you know what's going on. So that was his Walker. So this is my secondary Flare. He's not strong. So let's just fast forward to this and get to the action. Okay, Medusa. So none of my skills proc here, which is pretty unfortunate, but see, he gets Rampage. He has it at level 50. That's gonna hurt. Wow, see that? That does a lot of damage. Power of Taurus. That's my jewel set in action. Rampage again. Power of Taurus. Always gonna do so much damage here. Okay, he deleted my K Walker. Sonar. Here we go. So because Sonar proc, all of my hits will hit. All of my hits will land, including my Awakening. All my Awakening hits will hit. Will land. Okay, his Awakening. Alright. See, his Rampage isn't proccing, which is a good thing for me, but Full Metal Jacket, attack increase, Sonar, guaranteed hit for all my troops, and crit chance increase. All great things, all great things. Awakening Walker, Sonar, Power of Taurus. Oh wow, so many things proccing. Okay, deleted. Okay, he took me out. I lost, but he beat me to the Ark. But you can see the power of both of these commanders. You know, these commanders are very, very, very strong. Um, Unfortunately, I can't show you my Galileo right now. I have to wait for the timer, but I'm not going to have you guys wait. You guys can just, figure it out yourself. But just based on, I used the main Galileo, so I know a good amount of that, about that commander, and he's good. He's really good. So, yeah, if you're looking to becoming a Walker main, pursuing the Walker unit as your primary research, I highly, highly recommend that you commit to any one of these three commanders. You have Galileo, Chief, and Medusa. These are all great. And Pictor, let's talk about this guy for a little bit. Now his first skill, 20% chance to trigger. Our troops will hit and crit chances increase by 1%. So this is essentially a sonar, but a lower trigger percentage. Now what is very interesting about this commander is his secondary ability, Sticky Bombs. Chance to trigger before actions. If it hits the enemy this turn, deal damage to one target row of enemies. So essentially, if this skill triggers and your hit lands on the enemy, it becomes an awakening walker. You deal damage to one target row of enemies. So if we just so theoretically, if Acuity Gift is currently active on all your tiles, and this triggers on top of Awakening Walker, you're looking at a lot of damage. So it's very exciting commander. I'm excited to see someone actually commit and get him to S rank and put some magazines into this guy and put some good gear on him and see what he can do. Um, so yeah, uh, as of as of right now, we're looking at Medusa, Chief, and Galileo. These three commanders are very, very powerful for walkers. Highly recommend these three. And yeah, that concludes this video. I hope you all found this informative, helpful. Hopefully, led you in the right direction, give you some advice. Feel free to share this video, give it a like, subscribe. Please feel free to comment down below if you want to offer any feedback on my videos, what I can do better, what any new ideas for other videos. Please let me know. Comment down below. Again, thank you so much for the support. Um, just don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon. Alright, Suave out.